On behalf of our country, I want to just let you know, anytime you have any question, any doubt, anything you want, any favors you need, anything I can do to help Japan, we will be there. We are an ally at the strongest level.
This is the perfect time for President Trump to meet the moment with his famous deal-making skills and master negotiating to end this shutdown.
President Donald Trump currently on his way to Asia for a high-stakes tour of the region.
Okay. Government will be here when you get...
Tonight, Donald Trump walked into another foreign visit looking for respect in headlines, but left trending for all the wrong reasons. On live television, comedian and correspondent Desi Lydic took his image, his e.g., oh, and even his marriage narrative, and tore through it with surgical comedy. Social media is calling it the roast that knocked Trump's wig clean off.
Today, Trump was in South Korea, where he was dismayed to learn that the hot demon hunter babes are in fact not real people. But don't worry, he still got a warm welcome, and the South Koreans even honored our rich American heritage.
What began as a standard recap of Trump's latest Asia tour turned into a televised ambush of his image. From Japan to South Korea, Trump presented himself as the deal-maker, the strong ally, and the successful family man. Desi Lydic took those same images, those same public statement, TS, and flipped them into a masterclass in political satire live on air.
Donald Trump is spending the week in Asia, and today he was in Japan to meet their new Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi. She's Japan's first female Prime Minister. She's also their first Japanese female.
But this was not just about foreign policy sound bites. Desi subtly targeted the image Trump has sold for decades. The billionaire husband, the powerful patriarch, the successful family brand. Without naming every detail, she used his own clips, his own grand promises to suggest a very different picture of how that perfect marriage looks on camera.
Touching down in South Korea, greeted with the YMCA on the tarmac.
Unbelievable. The Village people must be so proud that their song became America's official presidential anthem.
Online, viewers said it felt like Trump's wig blew off in real time. Not literally, of course, but symbolically. The polished mask slipped. Desi replayed his own words about partnership, loyalty, and wonderful marriages. Against footage that told a colder story, it was less a joke and more a live dissection of his public persona.
Praise on President Trump and vowed to make new investments in the U.S.
Very strong handshake. So if you see any weird bruises on my hand, that's why.
In this report, we break down exactly what Desi said, how she used Trump's own speeches and gestures to build the case, and why his marriage and family image were at the center of the laughter. From Asia to New York, from the White House to late-night TV. This is how one televised segment shook the carefully staged Trump brand.
This gold crown to you on this joyous occasion of your state visit to Cheongju.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Wow, a golden crown. What a lovely, thoughtful gift.
Donald Trump's latest trip across Asia was designed to show strength, stability, and statesmanlike leadership. We see him stepping off planes, reviewing troops, shaking hands with leaders, and promising that America will always be there for its allies. He praises Japan, South Korea, and others as loyal partners, selling the image of a confident global negotiator and a man fully in control. But while those official cameras captured flattering angles and strong sound bites, Desi Lydic and her team were watching closely, collecting every awkward pause and forced smile. On her show, she recut that same tour as a comedy reel. And crucially, she didn't focus only on policy. She focused on Trump as a person, his behavior, his body language, and yes, how his wife and family appear in public when the spotlight is brightest.
This is how it's been at every stop on the trip. Trump arrives, they throw a big party for him, then they immediately try to buy his affection with gifts. So South Korea, what do you got?
Korean President Lee lavishing Trump with gifts, including a replica.
Desi Lydic's power lies in contrast. Her tone is calm, almost friendly, but the words are razor sharp. She introduces Trump's Asia tour like a newsreader, then pivots into punchlines that expose the absurdity inside his own performance. She jokes about him being greeted by the YMCA on the tarmac, about over-the-top ceremonies, about how every stop includes flattery and gifts. Then she carefully links that same pattern to his personal life. A man constantly, surrounded by symbols, gold, and showmanship, but rarely showing genuine warmth with his wife in public. Desi doesn't accuse. Instead, she invites viewers to look again at the footage they already know. The effect is powerful. Trump's statements about wonderful marriages and great relationships sound very different when paired with stiff smiles, distant glances, and a first lady who often walks one step ahead or behind.
Art form. And the master of this is Donald Trump. He knows the art of altercation like the back of his totally normal hand. Trump's faced many worthy opponents: Hillary Clinton, laws, even his own neck.
One of the most striking choices Desi made was to link the constant gift-giving on Trump's trips to the way he tries to frame his own personal relationships. We see Japanese and Korean leaders presenting golf clubs, crowns, and symbolic items to Trump. Desi jokes first. Donnie gets presents before cutting to Trump talking about how two countries would make a wonderful marriage. In that moment, she cleverly turns his diplomatic language into a metaphor for his own public marriage to Melania and to his political base. Trump loves to say things get along very well. They like each other a lot. But the visuals Desi chooses, a stiff handshake, a wife avoiding eye contact, a crowd laughing at his comments rather than with them, suggests that behind the grand words, the bond may be more transactional than emotional.
It was to discuss critical trade agreements and reaffirm our alliances. But first, Donnie gets presents.
Takaichi, even at this bilateral meeting, we saw her gift Trump a golf club. She also gifted him a...
Trump is used to being the loudest voice in any room. He dominates conversations, interrupts interviews, and often turns even solemn ceremonies into stages for his personality. DeSessi's response is not louder, it's smarter. She uses timing as her main weapon. She lets Trump speak first, plays his full quote about loyalty, strength, or love, then waits a beat, just long enough for viewers to register the claim. Only then does she add a single line of commentary that cuts straight through the image. It might be a quiet, sure Jan style remark or a carefully chosen joke, but the impact is clear. The emperor's costume looks thinner for Trump, whose brand depends on control and dominance being turned into a punchline bill from his own footage, is more damaging than any direct insult or shouted criticism.
And after the gift giving, it was time for some ceremony. So the Prime Minister showed off her new friend Trump to a gathering of uniformed soldiers. We see here in this solemn moment of respect, two allies totally in sync. Wait.
For years, Trump has promoted the idea of a successful, glamorous marriage and family. From magazine covers to campaign stages, the images are consistent. Melania by his side, children behind a podium, the look of a powerful dynasty. DeSessi's segment doesn't claim to know what happens in private. Instead, she looks at what is already public and asks viewers to notice the gaps. She shows Trump speaking warmly about great chemistry, then rolls footage of moments where Melania appears distant, pulling her hand away or staring ahead as he speaks. Desi doesn't make accusations. She simply lets the contrast speak for itself. In doing so, she reminds...
This dude spends every day whining about how Gen Z is too woke with their safe spaces, and now he's out here like the wallpaper is giving the president trauma. These fluorescent lights are
Desi also weaves in Trump's long, complicated relationship with New York City, a place he once called the greatest city in the world and now attacks as dirty and in decline. She plays his older interviews praising New York's energy and drive, then contrasts them with recent speeches describing it as a crime-ridden mess. The pattern she highlights is familiar. When a place, a person, or even a city reflects well on Trump, he praises it endlessly. When it challenges him, criticizes him, or moves on without him, suddenly...
But one of his most personal feuds is with his own hometown, New York City.
New York has a problem. This is now a city in decline. Filthy dirty. The job they do is horrible. It's become a crime.
Once DeSessi's segment aired, the internet did what it always does, but with unusual intensity. Short clips of her jokes about Trump speeches and his marriage metaphors were cut into bite-sized reels and shared across platforms. A single frozen frame of Trump blinking mid-joke was enough to spark thousands of memes. Comment sections filled with viewers saying it felt like his metaphorical wig had been blown clean off on live TV. Importantly, these weren't just standard political arguments. They were jokes, edits, reaction videos, many created by younger audiences who don't attend rallies or watch full speeches. By turning Trump's own curated image into viral comedy, Desi and her team reach viewers who might never sit through a traditional political broadcast, but will gladly watch a smart, ruthless roast again and again.
I'll use that Trump charm to put a ring on it.
It would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Aww.
As you know from real estate, there are some places.
Trump's political style depends on being untouchable. He attacks opponents, media outlets, even comedians, but always presents himself as the winner, the survivor, the one in control. Desi's segment chipped directly at that myth. She didn't shout. She didn't insult his appearance. She simply used his own record and public moments as raw material. For a man who thrives on attention, being turned into a carefully edited joke is a special kind of defeat. The more he reacts, the more he feeds the content cycle. The more he ignores it, the more those clips circulate without his framing. And when the subject includes hints at his marriage, his family image, and how distant that looks compared to his own claims, the discomfort increases. This wasn't just about laughs. It was about showing that even a carefully scripted brand can unravel in a few minutes of well-crafted satire.
Has been obsessed with making Canada the 51st state ever since he found out Epstein Island was not eligible. Well, today, Canada's new Prime Minister came to the White House, which gave Donald Trump an opportunity to...
Across his career, Trump has treated his family name like a logo, a brand stamped on buildings, products, and campaigns. His children have spoken at conventions. His wife has delivered speeches at critical moments, and the message is clear. The Trump family stands together, successful and united. Desi's segment didn't break that brand, but it did raise important questions about how much of it is presentation and how much is genuine connection. By focusing on his public interactions with Melania, the way he talks about marriage and politics, and the mismatched warmth in many of their public appearances, she reminded viewers that political families are often stage sets. For some voters, a strong family image matters deeply. Seeing that image mocked, doubted, or exposed as hollow can slowly erode the emotional connection that once seemed unshakable.